perfect. Yeah, you walk that walk, watch the miles go by. You're so picture perfect.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bravo Tea with the Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and before we get into all this Bravo recapping that I feel like I need to catch up on because I was on my vacation for the week at the Jersey Shore, we have had a lot of things happen this week, a lot of deaths and celebrities, and one of my favorite musicians, Ozzy Osbourne, is no more. R.I.P. to Ozzy. I mean, even if you didn't like his music and you don't like that genre of music, everyone knew who Ozzy was. They were basically the first reality TV family, I feel like, that was on the Osbournes back in 2001, 2002. That show is the funniest show of reality TV because there was no self-producing fakeness back then like now we kind of have jumped to. It was just Ozzy pure and raw form. My husband had never really watched it. So I was like, oh my gosh, we're big Ozzy fans. So I'm like, well, we got to watch the show a little bit. So it's on Amazon Prime. If anyone has never seen it or just wants to have a laugh all over again and watch it, I mean, it's just so funny. He gets that big remote. Remember back in the day when those remotes came back and it was like, we're launching the space shuttle with it, but it's just for our TV and surround sound. He's like, I can't figure out the remote. It's stuck on the weather in Afghanistan. Oh my gosh, it's just so funny. And then they got like a million dogs always running around, always peeing and pooping in the house. And it's just like, I'm sure that family is doing some serious grieving because they were so close. He just had his last concert that I feel like was almost like his funeral a couple weeks ago in Birmingham. And he just was not doing well. I knew the day was going to come soon because he's 76. He has Parkinson's. He got in a bad accident a while ago, and he had spinal surgery that went wrong, which is just awful. And he was basically like paralyzed almost. He might as well have been. He's very unstable. He had to sit down while he performed, and his legs were very shaky. It's just very sad. I just didn't think he was going to pass away this soon. So R.I.P. to Ozzy, R.I.P. to Hulk Hogan, R.I.P. to Chuck Mangione, and Connie Francis, like all these people, all these celebrities. Now, those two were old. Hulk Hogan was a little bit of a shock. He's 71. He had a massive heart attack and passed away, and he seemed healthy and fine. It's just you never know. You never know. So moving past all the death and depressingness, let's get on to everyone being crazy. So we got the Valley season finale, and I had my watch party for the season finale. It was so much fun. We had all the drinks, all the apps. I did my fun little drink special menu. So I had a skinny spicy margarita was It's Britney Bitch. And a Rotten Hale was an espresso martini. We had a Crazy Kristen, which was a dirty martini. And then we had a 3 under 3 for Danny, of course. And that was a sangria. So we did that. We did bingo. I made the bingo up myself. So thank God somebody actually got bingo. I was so proud of myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I made this all myself. And I said, if anyone wants the bingo, just message me. I will send it to you so you can play for the reunion because the bingos are usually the best for the reunions because everyone cries or argues or bring things up. So you're really going to mark all those spots on the bingo. But let me tell you, I did a good enough job doing it for the season finale, and we marked all the spots, and my friend won it. And we did all the raffles. It was so much fun. So I'm definitely going to do more in the future. I feel like the next one would be for Orange County because I really liked doing the season finale. Or we could do reunions, but I think the season finale was even more exciting to watch together because I had to watch it the next day, of course, just so I could listen even more closely. But it was really fun to watch it with friends. So I will keep everyone posted on the next one. But so we got Michelle, Brittany, and Janet visiting Lala because she had the baby. And they're just talking about how nobody likes Janet. And except the people in this room, I don't know how and why they do. Zach expressing concern to Brittany that he's always on Janet's side is true because you know what? Ride or die with the real ones that were friends with you before TV. Zach is from Kentucky, so he liked Brittany before TV. now that Kristen has brought up this fangirl behavior with Janet, it makes me start thinking, like, why is she wanting to leech on to Sheena and even Lala? Like, it's getting the wheels spinning in my brain, and I think Kristen is right. But then Janet says, "Oh, I wish Kristen would punch me in the face and beat my ass," like she said, because then she'll go to jail for the night and her engagement ring will get taken away for the night. I just feel like Janet says these things, but then if Kristen said that, she'd want everyone to be mad at Kristen. She'd go on a vacation and not invite Kristen. It's just like, don't say these things if you don't want them said back to you. It's hypocritical. And Janet, for me, is a typical hypocrite right now. She can take the heat, or she can't take the heat, so she needs to stay out of the kitchen. Saying, "Oh, I wish you would go to jail for the night." Like, no, that's a no. And then Brittany said that everyone will be proud of her because she had just had her talk with Jax, and he said he wants to go after her for alimony. And Lala's like, "Oh, well, yeah, being addicted to coke is an expensive addiction, so maybe he should stop." And it's like, I'm just so glad we've lifted the veil and we're like acknowledging that he has been doing this. And let's be honest, that's definitely a big reason why he put him and Brittany in this financial stance, because I'm sure that ain't free or cheap. And I'm sure the quality he's getting ain't cheap. And it seems like he's doing it all the time. I mean, we'll talk about it at the end, but he was wackadoodle at the end. He was on something that's not just alcohol, because Zach was definitely overpoured with the wine, overserved. And you could tell he was just drunk. Jax is always on something, though, like Adderall, Coke, something. It's not just alcohol. He's not being drunk because he's like eyes bugging out of his skull, which like Bug-Eyed Aaron. Oh, side note, Bug-Eyed Aaron and Michelle Dunzo. Don't really know details, but they have broken up. And I'm a little shocked because when we got the preview for the reunion, it said they had just moved in together. And the reunion wasn't filmed that long ago because Kristen and Nia were like 34 weeks pregnant. So they moved in with each other and basically moved out, and it's done. So I'd love to know what's going to happen. And I'd love to know what honey she's now going to buy, since she won't get to buy Bug-Eyed Aaron's honey. But then we have Luke, Jesse, and Jason meeting at Jax's place. And of course, Schwartz is just going to walk over because he's a neighbor. I don't think Jax is sad at all that he's not in a house having responsibility. I think he loves this. Like, oh, neighbors with Schwartz. I have a new townhouse, because Brittany kept calling it a condo at the end. He's like, "It's a townhouse." It's like, okay, no one cares. He loves it. But Jax is talking shit on Danny. So he has purposely not invited Danny. And since Jax is so awful, and we have already seen it, and Brittany has blown up his spot, us knowing how awful he is, he needs to act like Danny is a raging alcoholic and needs to be stopped. Now, has Danny had too much to drink? Yes, I'm sure. Have all of them had too much to drink while filming this show or hanging out? Yes. I just don't understand why they're acting like Danny needs to go to like a rehab. Like, Jax, you went to a rehab and you still need to go back to a rehab. So find something else to talk about, like yourself. So Jax said that he's just not inviting him here, but he's like, "Oh, I bet Danny's somewhere drinking." It's like, actually, he's not. And that's what you guys are doing in the middle of the day. So shut your mouth. Jesse and Michelle have a groundbreaking conversation, though. Tears were shed. And that was on my bingo card if Jesse or Michelle cries. So that was 2 marks for that. He's taking accountability. And my sister-in-law was like, "What if they get back together?" And I was like, "Oh, that would be wild." And now that Bug-Eyed Aaron's out of the picture, wouldn't that be something? But I think Jesse's still with his girlfriend. But I think if Michelle wanted to get back together, he'd get back together with her in 5 seconds. So it'll be more Michelle needs to want to get back together. I don't think she will want to get back together, but I am glad to see that I think and hope they're going to have a co-parenting relationship, because Brittany and Jax never will. Never. Like Lala, I just saw a clip from her podcast and she's like, "I know it feels like they won't, but I think one day they will." And I think I know why she's saying that. It's because she knows Brittany is a nice person. She's a forgiving person. So she knows that once it calms down a little, that they will be able to co-parent. I personally, I actually don't think they will. I mean, I hope for Brittany's mental stability that they could, but I think they're going to be on that app, just like Lala and Randall are, and they're not going to do anything together. I mean, Jax, I saw in the after show, he's like, no, we're going to do Mother's Day and Father's Day together. It's like, no, you are not. Why would she want her Mother's Day ruined with you? Some people can do the holidays and they're broken up, and good for you, and that's great. But in my Tamara Judge voice, this is my opinion. If I got divorced from my husband, I'm getting divorced from you because I don't want to be around you any longer. So why would I want to spend my holiday with you? If I could still spend my holiday with you and wanted to, I would still be married to you. And then I also think it gives false hope to children because you're sharing the special holiday together and they're like, oh, maybe my parents are going to get back together. And it's like, no, they're not. And then on another point, how uncomfortable is that for newcomers to the relationship, like the new wife or the new husband? Oh, we got to go hang out with my ex-husband or my ex-wife. No, thank you. That's weird. I mean, doing like kids' birthdays is a little different. Or obviously, you're only having one high school and college graduation, and obviously a wedding. But like, you're not coming over to my house for Christmas. You're not. You're going to have your own Christmas at your house, and I'm going to have my own Christmas at my house. And you're not coming over. I'm sorry. But things like that, graduations and a wedding, obviously, we're not having two weddings. So that's different. But I think Jesse and Michelle will be able to be friendly. I don't see that for Brittany and Jax, but it's because Jax is awful. Brittany gets a new doormat, thank God, and it says, welcome to the Cartwrights. No more couchy shit, no more, none of that. She has taken everything down. And then like when I was thinking about it, I was like, that would be hard. When you're staying in the house, you have to clear it of the family stuff. So Jax got to like take his crap and put it in a new place, but it's like Brittany has to take every memory down of him, and she's got to get new canvas prints and new pictures in the picture frames. And what do you do with your wedding stuff? Like box it up? Because I feel like she's the type that likes to save stuff too. So she'd be like, oh, let me save this for Cruzy, so he can look at it one day. So I guess she's just like taking her wedding album and like putting it away. You know what I mean? Like you don't want it out, but I guess you put it in a box. I don't know. When you do have kids, I feel like you do save that stuff. But Kristen comes over to tell Brittany that she may be infertile. And I just feel so bad for Kristen. But obviously, I'm so glad that we're watching this season knowing she already got pregnant and now has had the baby. And it was interesting hearing her say that like she is infertile and she actually already did get pregnant and had a miscarriage. So to hear the doctors say, oh, you're completely infertile, you'll never have kids and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, she actually did become pregnant already. So I don't know. I luckily did not have to go through all of that IVF, IUI, all of that journey. So it breaks my heart watching it for somebody have to go through all that and then hearing the words in the doctor's office, well, you're infertile. It's like so many questions she probably had like, well, wait, I already did have a child growing in me. It just didn't come to term. Why are you now saying I'm infertile? So thank God she had the baby and I'm so happy for her. Benji and Zach go out to celebrate that Benji is finally like living here. So he's been there for a couple weeks. Benji's divorce is finalized. Literally forgot he was married before. He's reminding me of like Leslie Chow from The Hangover. That's what my friend said at the watch party. We got little Mr. Chow there. Because Zach is so tall, you can tell. And Benji is like a Polly Pocket next to him. But Zach is just saying he's not sure if he wants a friendship with Janet. And he's upset that Brittany is always taking her side more. And I agree. I agree. And not only is it upsetting because he's been knowing Brittany longer, Janet's wrong in all of America. And I feel like the whole cast almost knows she's wrong. I feel like Michelle is more on Janet's side, but it's because honestly, Michelle really isn't friends with Zach. She definitely isn't friends with Kristen. So that's why she's more on Janet's side. Brittany's really the only one torn in the middle because no one else likes Janet. So I'm wondering what's going to be in the future for Janet because she really doesn't have friends. And wondering if like Jasmine will stay on the show. I wouldn't mind if Jasmine stayed on the show, but she's also not giving that much. That's why she really held on to the accusations with Danny, I feel like. And then everyone was dragging it out. Like that was the only thing that was Jasmine's storyline. We really know nothing about her partner. I don't even remember her name right now, to be honest. So I thought it was Michelle. Do we have two Michelles? That's what I mean. I don't know. So it's like Jasmine could be here nor there. I wouldn't be crying if she left, but I'm also not like, yeah, let's petition for Jasmine to get off the show. But everyone is getting ready for the Zen party. So when Jesse and Michelle had their crying breakthrough, she said she wants to have a Zen party. And we already knew like a theme party was coming or just a party. And everyone acts like, oh, I'm just going to have this party. It's like, no, you were just chosen, I guess, to host the end of the year party because somebody has to have it. So she wrote affirmations for everyone. And she said, if I can get along with Jesse, then everyone can get along. And that is true. I would more even chalk it up to if Brittany and Jax could ever get along, then literally the whole universe could get along, the whole free world. But I have to give it to Michelle. She is putting that foot forward. I think at the beginning, she was just so angry at Jesse and you kind of got to let it out. But now it's like, you know what? You don't live together anymore. It's not even worth it to fight. It's not even worth it. Jax pulls Brittany for a non-dramatic talk. It's like, okay. They talk about the Ring cameras. And he said, it makes me like upset that you're not gonna trust me with Cruz. And she said he never put those. So she was on Watch What Happens Live later. He never put those Ring cameras in his house. So it wasn't going to be around his whole house. It was going to be in Cruz's room. So she could say, listen, I don't need a Ring camera. You're not ready, Jax. You're not responsible. And that is your own fault. I do not like that he's acting like Brittany is just some bitter person. Like, example, if Michelle told Jesse, you're not allowed to keep Isabella overnight, that would just be because she's being vindictive and bitter. There's no reason Jesse can't keep the kid overnight. Jax, on the other hand, has an anger issue, a drug problem, and an alcohol problem. I'm pretty much saying one out of the three is me not letting our kids spend the night there. But you're 3 for 3. That kid is not spending the night there for a long ass time, and it's your fault. You need to take accountability. Just like Jesse finally took accountability. That was groundbreaking for him to have that talk. We all like Jesse now. We all agreed at the watch party that we're getting soft for Jesse. I kind of like Jesse more than Michelle because she is kind of a wet blanket. But now that maybe she's not going to be all mean and pouty and fight with Jesse, I'm thinking next season we're going to get a more fun side of her. And now she's going to be single. Maybe that's going to be fun. Maybe they'll have a drunken hookup. Oh my God, guys, that could be fun. But anyway, so he's saying he also can't believe that Brittany went in for the divorce while he was away at rehab. And she's like, you gave me no choice. Like he needs to stop, but this is true narcissist. He needs to stop acting like everything's her fault. She had no choice. And she's like, I had to do it while you were away, so I wouldn't not do it. And she's like, I'm proving to you that I can afford the house. And he's like, yeah, you're always texting me about the flowers. She's like, yeah, I'm texting to show you I'm going to pay for it and I can do it all. And he takes it as she can't afford the house and it'll add up and you'll see. And she's like, yeah, and it's because of you. He signed the deed and mortgage over to her, but she's still going to be responsible for paying his taxes, which is so awful. So I'm wondering if when they're in divorce court, if she could ask for that. I don't know. I mean, that man better freaking give her some money for that kid too. She said he has given her no money for Cruz. And then that's another issue for me. It's not just like he's a normal kid. He has special needs. He's in therapy. He has bigger bills than just normal kids would have. But also, if you're not even going to contribute financially to him, why should you have him? Like, He's just a no. And I would love to be a fly on the wall during their divorce hearing and their child custody, like battle, because it'll be a battle, but she'll win the battle because of his alcohol and drug abuse and his erratic behavior, like no judge wants to see or hear that you're being a lunatic and leaving her with all these bills. But I love when Brittany goes in on his looks. She said she has had blinders on when she was in love with Jax, but now all she sees is a sweaty, greasy man child and a blockhead. He's got a big blockhead. And I'm like, you go, Brittany. I never thought Jax was attractive. I'm not into that like Guido GTL look. Like I'm into obviously like my husband's Italian. So let me back it up a little with the description. I obviously like an Italian man, a handsome man. Like who doesn't like an Andrea? But I don't like the juice head, blockhead look that I feel like Jax has always given the vibe of. She's reminding him of what an awful situation he has put her and Cruz in, just being selfish, having to get the place next to Schwartz, which I agree. And she's like, I don't care about your condo. And he's like, it's a townhouse. It's like, I don't care if it's a whole 2-story like apartment complex that you own. No one cares. He put her in such an awful predicament of paying for the house that's theirs and then the Airbnbs. Like he didn't even wait until her Airbnb was up. She still had 3 months. So she needs all the brand deals, all the money. She needs to GoFundMe at this point. I'll give her $10. Like he is just awful. I mean, $18,000 a month that woman is paying for the mortgage because of all the back taxes. That's just the mortgage. That is not taxes. That is not anything that they are eating, the lights, the TV, the clothes, the therapy for Cruz that he is not contributing to either. Just awful. And they live in California. It's not cheap. Just awful. So we hope for Brittany, like all the things Ariana's getting. I could see Brittany. See, I can't see her hosting anything because she would like laugh the whole time and get nervous. And like, but I really would like to see her on like another show. But see, I don't know how she would leave Cruz for a long period of time. Like, I'd love to see, we need to get her on Love Island, honestly, as like a little contestant. But like, we need to give her another little show besides the Valley so she can make some more money because I'm all about that. And Jax was fired. Let's be real. He did not quit. He was fired. He was asked to leave the Valley. So thank God we won't have to see him. And then he definitely will go after Brittany for alimony, which is awful. So hopefully the judge will be like, no, you get no alimony. I don't know how that'll work. For me, if I was the judge, I'd be like, you don't get alimony because this woman is stuck paying your back taxes. So that's your alimony. Okay. Bye-bye. Janet comes up to Nia and apologizes about the harsh words she used on the boat about our beloved Daniel that day. Nia's like, I really don't want to talk to Janet. And I agree. It's okay for her to say harsh words and then apologize and wants forgiveness, but it's not okay for Kristen to do the same thing. This is why I said at the beginning, Janet is a hypocrite. If we look up hypocrite in the dictionary, we're getting Janet. If we look up narcissist in the dictionary, we're getting Jax, okay? Maybe I should come out with a Bravo dictionary since I was so good at the bingo. That's my next step. Jesse's crying to Kristen. That was a double whammy on the bingo board. Jesse's crying again. Just about his struggles, being a single dad who works 2 jobs, who loves his kid. I mean, he's getting emotional. I don't know if it's half for the camera. Let's get him on an acting job so he can pay off some of that $300,000 loan he took out in him and Michelle's name. See, that's the only part I still am mad at Jesse about. He's going to get a pass way more than Jax, but like now Michelle's got to pay that loan with you. But at least they're both high selling like real estate agents. So hopefully they can like work that out. And hopefully they still are like kind of working together as a team because it's definitely easier to sell some of those crazy houses like that we see on $1 Million Listing or like that the agency has like Maurizio with a team. So hopefully the two of them can start working together nicely again to make money for themselves and for the daughter. So Jax is getting all loony in the corner. So this is where I'm like, what's going on? What are you doing? This is exactly why Brittany's divorcing you, because you can't stop. He's having a lot of nerve saying Danny's drinking again. And I just can't deal with him. And he's like over there talking to Jason and somebody else. I think like Brock. And he's like, yeah, he's like Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy. What? You're those people. They had psychotically something wrong with them like you. Like you're psycho. You're maybe not on killing sprees like them, but you're psycho like them. Like Ted Bundy is actually the best comparison to Jax, minus the murder. But Ted Bundy was like showing up places, being like normal, having the girlfriend, and then killing people at night. That's Jax trying to be all normal and then screaming and throwing furniture at Brittany on the off camera. You're Ted Bundy. Then Jax goes over, aka Ted Bundy, to Danny to talk to him. And I just don't get his beef with Danny. I think it's just like Jax sees him as like wounded prey. And he's like, oh, I got to get everyone off of thinking I'm a bad guy and like go in on Danny. But it's like, in no way, shape, or form are you going to make us think anyone on this TV show is a worse person than you, especially him. Like maybe go after somebody else, like maybe Jesse. But see, he wouldn't do that because that's his friend. And he's like, yeah, how you been? And Danny's like, good, man. And then he's like, yeah, I didn't include you in some of the gatherings because I just figured you were out getting drunk. And then he goes into like full lunatic rampage. Is he on coke right now? I need to know. And then Danny is like, I don't know, like what's wrong with you and blah, blah, blah. And then Nia is in the background. Jax is like, Jax, I know that he's on something right now because he's like not looking at Danny and he's not looking at the camera. And he's like he'll turn and then do motions with his hands. And he's like, oh, you and Nia want everyone to think you're so perfect. And it's like, who are you talking to? Like, it's weird. And then he goes over to the bar and orders a vodka on the rocks. Bing, bam, boom. You definitely snorted some lines of coke off camera after ordering that, if you weren't before, but I think he was. Because he's a little moist, a little sweaty. Brittany's like off camera with Jared lips in the corner, like looking at Jax like, and this is why I divorced him. Jared, like that's probably, if we had her mic'd up at the moment talking, she's probably like, Jared, you see him over there being all crazy? That's why I had to get me and Cruz out of there, or had to get him out of there. I'm back in the house now for $18,000 a month. But this is why, just lunatic psycho. Everyone starts having drama now. It's like something was thrown into the air, or they're like, come on, time's ticking. Sheena brings Jenna up. She thinks that Kristen is bringing Jenna up around Michelle and Jesse on purpose, when Jenna is actually friends with Sheena and Lala. So like, I'm confused. She's Lala's personal trainer and was invited to like Brittany's shark party, I think. Like she's around. She's a friend. She's like a Jared Lip. So it's like, it's Kristen's fault for like talking about her. You're the one that's friends with her. Mark my words, we'll see Jenna more on the show next season. Also, that's my prediction. Zach said to Brittany he's going to get mad at her if she takes Janet's side ever again. And Zach has had one too many glasses of wine. He's definitely drunk. He is yelling at Brittany now at this point. And then Benji, little Polly Pocket Benji, is trying to take the wine out of Zach's hands. And he's like, no, stop. And then he's like, I just need you to be there for me. And he starts crying. I'm like, everyone's crying. It's bingo for everybody on the board because everybody's crying. And Janet will not let Kristen apologize. But like I said, she wants Nia to forgive her, and she's apologizing for that. And that was way worse. Sheena's like behind Kristen, not talking, but trying to be in on the action, trying to be in on the camera. Reminded me of like a Homer Simpson lurking in the bushes. And Brock too, with his Cisco blonde hair. No one knows what's happening with that. And now, come to find out that Brock cheated on Sheena years ago, decided to tell her 1 month after Scandival. So they have been on TV not once, but not twice, 3 times because they filmed the final season of Vanderpump Rules. Sheena already knew. First season of The Valley. Sheena already knew. Now the second season of The Valley. Sheena already knew. You're not going to say this at all? Instead, you wait till now when your book is being released, and how convenient you have to tell everyone because it's in your book and you need a whole moment all on its own. She's pulling the Gretchen Wieners, the meme, my favorite meme I've ever made. Like, I never told anybody that because I'm such a good friend, saying that she didn't tell anyone about the cheating back in the Scandival season because she wanted Ariana to have her moment. No, you didn't. You just wanted nobody to know. But it's like time has ran up and now you have to tell people because you wrote about it in your book. I like Sheena, but she loses us when she does stuff like this. You're the one that's telling Ariana and Tom to like talk and film a scene together, but you're not telling us your real life. Or Lala, definitely got a bone to pick with you. You're going to get popped over there because you're the one saying Ariana ruined the show because she couldn't be real the last season and film with Tom. How about your girl Sheena? Ruining the show, can't be real. Can you imagine if she told us about Brock back then? Oh my God, we would have gotten a whole nother season probably for Vanderpump Rules. It's just, when it's about themselves and it's devastating like that, you don't want to talk about it. But when it's other people, you're like, why aren't you talking about your real life? Why aren't you sharing with us? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, no. I will not be buying a ticket to see Sheena at City Winery in Philly because it's $130 to sit in the last row. And then I'd still have to buy her book to even understand what's going on during the City Winery thing. So that's a no. I thought it was going to be like $40, maybe 50 with the taxes. I could have swung that. My friend and I just got BravoCon tickets. No, sorry, Sheena. I'll see you at BravoCon. And I'm not taking a picture with Brock and his Cisco hair at BravoCon either. And I'm not taking a picture with Jax at BravoCon. That's more interesting too. So Jax is still supposed to be at BravoCon, and he's like not going to be on the show. And we're having this dramatic 3-part reunion. So that's going to be interesting. So I can't wait for the reunion because we didn't even have one last season, and justice needs to be served with all these wackadoodles, and we need the reunion. So let's take a little break, and then we're going to recap Orange County from last week and this past week. And honestly, the first week, I actually haven't even recapped Orange County at all. So we're going to do 3 in 1. So let's take a little break, and then we'll do that. To all my listeners out there, it's not just the Bravo celebrities that want to look beautiful. We do too. Head on over to Studio One Salon for the most amazing extensions, cut, color, or even just a nice shampoo and blowout. Or when you go out with all your friends to talk about all the latest Bravo tea. Use my code BRAVOT with a stay-at-home mom to enjoy 10% off. So the first episode of Orange County, we're just like seeing Shannon's living life, single. She went on Love Hotel, but she didn't find any lasting. But who really finds lasting relationships on those? I mean, this like never happens. Isn't there like 2 people out of the Bachelor and Bachelorette that ever even made it? And one of them, I think it was like, guy's name was Tristan. I don't know. But it's like, it's a no. It's even when Brett Michaels did that Rock of Love. Oh my God, I watch that all the time. It's like, will you stay in this house and rock my world or whatever? It's like, he didn't pick any of those people. He just wanted to sleep with them probably. Like, let's be real. So I didn't think Shannon was going to pick any of those people. I didn't even really watch one episode. I kind of watched one and I'm like, I can't with the geriatric nursing home things. And that's just me. Like I always say in my Tamara voice, that's my opinion. I don't watch like The Bachelor and stuff like that. Like I don't want to watch that stuff. Rather watch these ladies scream and yell at each other instead. So I just didn't watch Love Hotel. I really didn't want to watch Luann be kind of like an old lady slut either, even though it's kind of funny, but I'm like, I'm good. First episode is just really them throwing my girl, Christina, the Bravo babe, under the bus. Katie Janela, hello. You were caught red-handed, and you, first of all, don't be calling us bloggers and be nameless with us because that's rude. We are people. And you're the one flapping your mouth to her, and there's receipts. And thank God, after the episode aired, she pulled the receipts up. Katie's like, this blogger reached out to me. So she's talking about the Tamra stuff. So last year, Tamra sent a cease and desist to Christina, the Bravo babe. And obviously she was worried, and she had already, I guess, exchanged some DMs with Katie Janela. And she's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. And then Katie called her. This is all like on Instagram Messenger proof. And she, in this episode, is saying, I never called her and she reached out to me and blah, 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 blah. Well, you best believe if you're going to make us look like liars or idiots, we're going to pull up the receipts. No, 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 no. I don't like Katie. She was reminding me of a Janet, like I just said on the Valley, like fangirl. What are you doing? Why are you even talking to people like us about real dramatic stuff or throwing these people under the bus? Because when the time comes, we will show the receipts. You don't act like we won't. So you're going to flap your mouth to me. It'll be all good until you turn your back on me. Then I'm going to show the receipts. So I don't really like Katie. I kind of didn't like her last year. I felt like she was a little wishy-washy, a little lying. And it's hard. Listen, to get new people on these shows, unless they really are friends with these people or have known them for a long time, they're going to be fans. And Katie's giving fan vibes. Jen is not giving fan vibes to me, and she did know Tamra. So Jen is safe. Katie is a fan. That's pretty much the first episode. Oh, and they go to this like Zen retreat type place that like Shannon's been to. That's like $10,000 for the week when you stay there. So then we got the other week, we got Gina, Tamra, and Emily going to a full body massage lymphatic drainage, and it's called Shape Shop. And I want to go to this right now. That is the one thing I would never want to like move to California, but they are always cutting edge for like the beauty, the health, the fitness, all that. It's like, I want that here, please. Thank you. Gina said, good for you to Tamra for trying with Shannon. This is Tamra's song and dance, though, every season. She blows up on you, and then time goes by. She has to make up at the beginning of each season so you can get through the season together. But mark my words, by the end of the season, she's going to be screaming at Shannon again. And it's like, I'm over it. She said she feels like Shannon. So on Watch What Happens Live, she said she felt like Shannon needs to go on pause. Tamra, you need to go back on pause because you were on pause. And maybe even Shannon too. I don't know. But it's also like when we eliminate all of these people that have been on for so long, I don't care about new people that much unless the OGs are sprinkled in. But also, Shannon acts the way she does sometimes on the show because you're so awful to be around and stir the pot so intensely that, of course, she's like always storming off. And Shannon's doing too much storming off, I will say, thus far in the season. They're bringing up the Bravo babe again, Christina. And then Shannon meets with Katie to talk about the whole talking about Tamra stuff. And Katie said she wants to have a hot pot meeting to get to know her. We already met you last year. What do you mean you feel like the ladies haven't met you and gotten to know you? I feel like everyone had a problem with you last season, so I think they know you. So then Tamra said, this is still with Emily and Gina, that Katie filmed Shannon when they were doing their photo shoots for last season. So they're like promo pictures. So Katie was on the phone with her husband and immediately hung up and started filming Shannon freaking out because Alexis was there taking her promo pictures and had this all on film. So she is like doing Alexis and Johnny J, in my opinion, by pulling out her camera, filming Shannon for blackmail, not displaying good behavior when she's in active lawsuit with them. And then, apparently, Katie had lunch with Alexis and showed her the videos. Why are you doing that? That is fangirl behavior also. You want to get into the drama, get into the mix. Maybe just tell Alexis, like, oh, Shannon was freaking out. You were there. That's fine. I would think that's fine. The fact that you had to immediately hang up from your husband and video that, that's freaking weird. Shannon is talking to her daughter about Love Hotel. And Sophie said that none of them were suitors, and that's just a no. Good for Shannon for going on the show, getting the money. She's got to support the daughters, and that lawsuit she settled with Johnny J, because thank God we're going into the season where she settled the lawsuit, and we will not be seeing Jesus Jugs nor Johnny J this season, I think. So we're done. They were been there, done that. She was a has-been. She came back. I think she thought she was like going to be back on the show full time. Like, delusion was real with that one. And it was a no. Nobody liked it. It's because she came in so hot. If she could have just come on, since she was on that show before Shannon, if she could have come on and just brought up some of the drama with Shannon, but instead it was like ran into that lunch and she's like, there's the door, Shannon Bedore. I have your man. What are you going to do? It's like, how long did you practice that line, girl? And she kind of stumbled saying it the first time. But Shane and Emily are driving and they're just talking about the hardships that their son is going through. I feel so bad. They thought it was just kind of like an eating thing. And then she's like getting more into it with doctors, and they're going to test him for autism. And she just did do like a either US Weekly or People Magazine article. So their son does have autism. I feel so bad. I would love to see her and Brittany team up and do stuff for that. She's just feeling a little alone. And I don't think it's because Shane doesn't care by any means. I think it's like he feels uncomfortable talking about it on camera. And this is when being on reality TV is hard. You got to talk about the good and the bad. So you can't say, oh, I don't feel like talking about this. It's like, well, we want to see your real life. And actually, even though it must be very hard to talk about these things on TV, it's great for people watching that are going through a similar thing. So I feel like that's what Shane maybe needs to think in the back of his brain. Like, this is hard for me, but it's going to be really great for other people that are going through this that feel overwhelmed and alone. Heather brings over some champagne and burgers to Tamara's house to talk about Gretchen because she's going to be coming on the scene soon. And thank God. Tamara calls out Gretchen's nose blur photoshops. And do you hate when people do that? I mean, like, I'm like, all right, Tamara, shut up. But I hate when people do that. I know you have photoshopped your photo because you have no face. Teresa does that a lot. And it's like, I get if you want to like whiten your teeth or like take pimples off your face, but like, why are you airbrushing your face so much that you've now erased your nose? Gretchen looks like she doesn't need to do that because she wears so much makeup that you have airbrushed your face already. So why you have to do that to your photos? I don't do that. I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that, to be honest. They all meet at the hot pot place. It's been 11 years since Gretchen has been on the scene. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. They haven't met at the hot pot place yet. They're Gretchen and Slade are coming to Ryan and Jen's house. So it's Katie, her husband, Ryan, Jen, Gretchen, and Slade. Jen said she texts Gretchen, Tamara SOS, and here she is. And I love it. Get it, Jen. So Jen is a good fit on the show too because she already knew these people. You know, like, I don't really know where we picked Katie up from. She's quote unquote Gina's friend, but she had a lot of drama with Gina last season and still has drama with Gina this season, and they don't hang out. So nice try telling us she's Gina's friend because she's not Gina's friend at all. Tamara is trying to make Jen look like a fangirl though, but it's a no for me. Not like a Katie or like a Janet. She said that to Heather that Jen, when she was married to her ex-husband, bought a house 2 doors down from her and Simon. She had her old hair extensions in. Like, ew, no. When you take your hair extensions out, you throw them away. So I don't really know what she was referring to. Like, maybe she went to your hair extension hairdresser, but nobody's putting used hair extensions in her hair. That was weird. And now her and Ryan make workout videos, and her and Eddie used to make workout videos. All right. I don't think they like bought a house 2 doors down from you to like morph into you. Like, it was probably just for sale and they wanted to live there. because she wasn't on the show back then, so the plan clearly didn't work. And she probably could have weaseled her way onto the show. She could have gone over to your house and really forced herself into your life to be on the show. But then she showed Heather old pictures of Jen. This is mean girl behavior. So Jen was a lot heavier back then, but this is also probably when she was having all her kids. And she's like, yeah, she's just like trying to transform into me. And I'm like, slow your roll. I don't think she's trying to transform into you. She just had plastic surgery and now works out a lot like every other woman in Orange County. I don't think that means she's trying to become you. Gretchen said Slade's son passed away from brain cancer. So did her late fiance. And Tamara was never given them grace for all that. But now Tamara wants grace because Teddy has brain cancer. So she's like, yeah, I saw her last season saying she's on the spectrum and that's why she acts like she does. And Gretchen, none of us were falling for that. So we're on your side. I'm Team Gretchen. If we had to say Team Gretchen or Team Tamara, I'm Team Gretchen. I never necessarily hated Gretchen back in the day on the show, but she was never one of my favorites. And obviously when Slade was mean to Vicky, calling her Miss Piggy, Gretchen was a little collateral damage. And I'm like, control your man. I don't like you. But they all get to the hot pot. And they all sit down and Gretchen, and Tamara are seeing each other. And she's like, oh, hi. She's like, what has it been, 12 years? And Emily said she met Gretchen at her party back in 2016. And her friendship with Tamara suffered a little back then. But now they've separated it. Because Emily was a good choice for the show too, because she has some heavy hitter friends and some housewife friends. So it's very natural and organic when these people come on the show. I don't understand where we got Gina from, to be honest. Gina is letting Shannon know that Katie recorded videos of her at that photo shoot and the freaking out about Alexis. And Katie wants to talk about My Girl, the Bravo Babe every episode and just referred to her as a blogger again. But Katie is like a blogger in and itself. And if she wants to degrade us and talk to us like we're crazy stalkers, you're with us then, because why are you filming a castmate? That is weird. That is something like if I was out to eat and I saw these people start fighting, you best believe I would whip my camera out so fast and film them. But they should not be doing it to each other. They are castmates. They are supposed to be quote unquote friends, some of these people. So that's not how you treat your castmates and friends. Because they all probably have a pact, don't do anything that could legally hurt and damage us. And that's what it is. It's not like it's just mean. It's like Shannon's in a legal battle with these people. So that's wild. And then she tries to say Jen was there and saw the video with Alexis when they're all out to eat. And she's like, I wasn't there. Don't say I was there. And she's like, Katie, what are you doing? Shannon leaves the lunch. So this is Shannon's first storm off. Shannon storms the door. She leaves because she's like, I don't want to talk about this. And it's legal matters. And you know what? She already settled with John. And I'm sure they both did end up signing that non-disparagement clause. So she's like, I'm not even going there talking about Alexis and John on camera because then she'll have to pay them more money. Gretchen goes there with Tamara, though, now that Shannon is left about being slanderous with Slade. And she said, as soon as you Google Slade's name, child support comes up. And she's like, it needs to stop. The slamming, and you're slandering him on your podcast. You use your podcast as a way to slander people and talk about people. And I agree. So Gretchen said they both need to apologize and move past it because she's probably like, listen, bitch, I'm on the scene again. She probably needs some money. Let's coexist on this show so we can all film together. So now we got Orange County this week. Katie and Gina go to get a deep scalp cleansing. And I need this place. There is a place around here that does that. And I want that. And Gina said they'll probably find 10 pounds of dry shampoo in her hair. And then Katie made a shady comment in the confessional. And she's like, Gina definitely needed to come here. It's like, shut the hell up, Katie. I just don't like Katie. Now that she did this to the Bravo babe, I don't like that she did it. Tamara goes to Emily's and says that Gretchen needs to relax and doubles down on what she said on her podcast. And it's like, no one is agreeing with you, Tamara. You are slanderous to Slade and blah, blah. And because she had even brought up the Bellino case where she literally got sued for defamation. Gretchen brought that up at the hot pot. So Heather, Jen, and Shannon, or Heather and Jen meet Shannon, and they're talking about the recording of Katie. And Heather was like, I called Alexis the other day. And then they like put that 3 times, and Shannon's face is kind of like, Heather, why are you calling Alexis? And it's like, I called Alexis. I called Alexis. But I'm glad that Heather called Alexis and she said, did Katie play the recording in front of you? And she said yes. And that's all she wrote. All right, now Shannon has a bone to pick with Katie. So Jen gets emotional, and she doesn't really understand why Heather is siding with Tamara. They are like in this crowded place. People are like right next to them. The wait staff is watching. The people right next to them are kind of like smiling, laughing. This would be heaven for me. I mean, I said to my husband, we were watching, and I went, could you imagine if this was us sitting right there? I would die. I'd just utterly die. I would have to have a secret camera on me and be like a Katie filming them right now. So Jen starts crying, and she's like, why are you siding with Tamara, even still basically talking to Tamara after she said last season or last year? They never say last season. They say like last year, that Tamara was making accusations that the FBI was raiding her house. She's like, I had to explain to my children that we weren't in danger, that we weren't being raided by the FBI, all because Tamara put that into the universe. And I have to agree with Jen. This is when it's like, shut up, Tamara. I don't give a shit what anyone says and talks about you. You go there, hit below the belt, and then people have to go home with little kids, explain all this, but you want us to feel bad for you that your co-host has brain cancer so you can maybe act like a lunatic this season all over again? Enough with the excuses. That's why she's trying to tell us she's on the spectrum, so she has excuses for acting like a lunatic last season. No, you're not. And it's just downright disrespectful for you to even say you're on the spectrum and that's why you're an asshole. That is not a behavior quality of people that are on the spectrum, being an asshole. Okay. Heather did say, though, then why did you hang out with people that videotaped our friend? So she's referring to Katie. And I agree that that is shitty. I don't know if it's totally comparable for like FBI legal stuff. I mean, Ryan sent Tamara a cease and desist. I do agree, though. Jen needs to look at Katie and say, why are you doing that? And Shannon, I'm sure, would appreciate that Jen would say, why are you doing that? Like, we can't do that to each other. Katie talks about her son maybe coming home. Don't really care when they film privately at her house. I don't care. She got kids like not at home, whatever. Shannon brings someone from Love Hotel to onto the scene. She like to bowl. She uses them as like dates, but like is not in relationships with any of them. So they all go bowling. She brings someone from Love Hotel. But Gina is like, we can't do a John Jansen again, so I'm going to interview rapid fire questions to this guy. Just asking him all the questions, but it's like, doesn't even matter because Shannon, I feel like, is not going to be romantic with this guy. So then we get Jen and Ryan sitting down with her one son, Dawson, that was peeling the Mustang out of the driveway, coming home late last season, being bad. He's now joining the Marines. And we get some more information that I don't like about Jen's ex-husband. So we've never seen him, but we hear last season that he's not paying any child support at all. And he's a lawyer, and he almost got his license taken away and couldn't practice law because he's not paying any court-ordered child support amount. Like nothing. And it's court ordered. And I'm sure it was based off his salary. So it's just like, he's just given nothing. I mean, thank God Ryan is around helping. So that was strike one for him. Strike two for me is he made Dawson, the 18-year-old son, co-sign a loan for the 21-year-old brother to be in college. What father does that? Dawson doesn't even really know what it means to co-sign a loan. And Ryan and Jen didn't even know any of this. And he went, yeah, bud, like you should have talked to us about this because in the future, you won't be able to get a loan. You won't be able to get a car if it goes bad. And it's probably going to go bad since the dad isn't even paying child support. Probably skip out on a couple bills for college too. That is gross. You know, the dad took advantage of the naive son that doesn't even understand what that means. I also wonder how he co-signed for the loan if he doesn't even really have a job. He is joining the Marines, so it said the base median salary is like $57,000 a year. So I don't know if they use that on the loan or he has a little job right now. But why are you having him co-sign? Ask Ryan to co-sign. Ask Jen to co-sign. Ask anyone else to co-sign. Or maybe you should just pay his college loans since you're not giving Jen any money. Okay? Okay. Tamara and Heather meet. And then Tamara's getting sad about Teddy. I do feel bad for her about Teddy, don't get me wrong, but it's like not a pass to be an asshole all season. So I hope she doesn't think that because bad stuff's happening to all these people all season and they get no passes. Heather asks if she's coming to her birthday party. And her lawyer has advised her to not be in the same room with Slade. And Tamara is telling Heather she just feels like she's choosing Gretchen over her. Well, not really. Because you could come to that party and just coexist with Slade. And she's like, well, why don't you just tell Slade not to come? And I do kind of agree with that. So everyone is invited as couples, but it is a little different. Like Tamara has been on the show and is a main cast member for years, whereas Gretchen has been gone. And she has more talked to Tamara all this time. And I don't really know how much Heather and Gretchen have stayed in touch. I don't even know if they were on the show together at all, to be honest. I'm sure they were in social settings together. But it is true. It's like, tell Slade to stay home. He doesn't have to be there. Gretchen has to because Gretchen is a friend of on the show, not Slade. So I did kind of agree with that. But we know Tamara's still going to show up to the party probably anyway. But the lawyer was like, don't go to the party. And I'm sure these lawyers get headaches with these people all the time. Gina and Emily said that in their confessional, it's weird that Heather is celebrating her birthday 2 months later. But no, it is not, because she wanted to save her birthday party for when they film because she's smart. Smarty pants. Her birthday is January 5th, the day before mine, the same day as Kristen Cavallari. So we got Capricorn sisters. Love it. Why is Ryan wearing a hoodie with a blazer? Like, what's happening? Everyone is dressed so fancy, like in gowns and suits. So suits with no ties, but still. He's got like a suit on, and this dippy has a hoodie under the suit jacket. So weird. It's not giving like edgy look. Wear like a edgy colored suit if you want to make a fashion statement. This just looks stupid. It's like you forgot where you were going and you had this like suit jacket in the car from the dry cleaner. You're like, let me just throw it on because I forgot where we were going. No. Another Bravo show spotting. We got Josh from $1 Million Listing LA. Shannon brings another guy from Love Hotel as just a date, but his face looks frozen. We got Phil, very suntan man. Gretchen is telling a story that she broke Slade's penis. That is definitely TMI, and I did not need to know any of this. And she said his penis is like Captain Hook now. I definitely didn't need to know any of that. Maybe they could get a slot on Sex Sent Me to the ER because those are the weird kind of stories that they tell on that show. But Shannon comes up and she's like, why is Heather chit-chatting with Katie like nothing happened? And it's like, well, it is her party. We do know that Katie has to be here because we're filming a TV show. This is when sometimes I'm like, why are they even asking these questions? Like, you all know it's going to be full cast at these parties. So don't even ask why these people are here. They're here because they have to be. And you're here because you have to be. Shannon's getting food with Phil. And she's like, all the food here is fattening. And he's like getting sushi and she's getting the grilled cheese. And then he's like, do you want to go over there and sit over there? And she's like, no, Phil, I don't, because it's with Katie. And he's like, don't you want to make up and rekindle the friendship? And she's like, no. But then the next thing we know, Katie swooped in, Phil said hi, and then knew the drill. He had to get up and leave. And he wanted to go eat his sushi in peace. He's like, I'm just a guest. I don't want to be involved in this. So you can tell Shannon just isn't having it. And she's like, Katie, you were sending me a text with an excuse, not an apology. So I didn't freeze and read the whole thing, but it was like, yeah, don't make excuses. Just say it was really awful of me to do that. I don't know why I did that, blah, blah, blah. You need to just say that. So I did record their argument. Let me just pull it up. But now apparently Katie was on a business call. Like we thought you were talking to your husband, but now apparently it was a business call. And she's like, I was on a business call and I had to hang up and just like videotape her. It's like, I am not buying any of that. She said technically what Katie did was illegal and I expect my privacy, and it is true. And she's like, I'm in the middle of a lawsuit and you're videotaping me, and then having the nerve to show it to Alexis. But then it's like she wants to call out all season, my girl, the Bravo babe. It's like, well, look what you're doing. So Shannon said to Katie, well, actually, I'll just play the clip. We'll listen to it.
You say adds up ever. I've gone to the bottom of the barrel with these women in this group. Yeah, never once has anyone recorded me behind my back. Do you know who went to Shannon? My husband. Alexis never heard of Shannon. I called Alexis. She said, here at lunch. She played it for me. Oh my God. You did. Katie, I worry about your mental state. I really do. I just worry about my mental state. I'm calmly talking to you, and you're the one screaming and yelling. So I feel like my mental state is okay, comparatively. You were the person that sat right next to me in Sonoma when I found out that there were alleged videos of me the night of the DUI. She said he has ring cameras that have videos. Jesus. This seems like trying to take me down. And you decided, knowing all I had been through, to video record me. I did do that. Katie, no apology will ever measure up to how much you violated me. Because I put you now in the category of John Jansen. How dare you record me? So I sued you for $75,000. That's you recorded me and sounded John.
Katie doesn't understand that these women do talk to each other. So if Katie thinks that Heather has not contacted Alexis and gotten the info for Shannon already, and I don't think Alexis would lie. Like, why is she going to lie? She's not on the show anymore. And it's like, it's just, she's not going to lie. So I believe them. That's why Shannon's like, I'm concerned about your mental stability because you don't even remember what you're saying anymore. Like, you're talking out all sides of your mouth. And I agree. She's like, what you did was unforgivable. It is on Alexis and John Jansen level because you're recording without her consent and then showing people that she's in a lawsuit with. So we get another storm off. She said she'll never forgive her. She storms off. This is when she leaves the grilled cheese. That was in the trailer. She's like, she left her grilled cheese. We end with a to be continued. And on the next episode, when we get the preview, we get Tamra and Jen meeting for lunch. And Tamra's going to storm off. There are just so many storm offs already on this episode. I mean, what's happening? There's so many storm offs for the season. What's going to happen? We can't all storm off and just quit. And apparently Tamra quits, but then I guess she doesn't. That's why she blocked me months ago, because she was following me and she would like DM with me occasionally and she'd comment on my stuff. And I put up a post and I was like, allegedly Tamra Judge storms off and quits the show, because those were all the articles that were coming off. And I put allegedly. So let's not cry and make a big scene about it. She's like, this is not true. And then she blocked me. It's like, all right, girl. Like, I didn't say your dog was murdered by your husband. Just chill out. So Katie has amnesia, if we want to put it into Erica Jane's perspective and wording. She is just full-blown delusional. Like, these women are verifying and checking out what you're saying and then what you're telling other people. And when it doesn't add up, we know the common denominator that you're lying and making it up. I don't believe Katie at all. Don't believe her because of what she did to the Bravo babe. And I can't believe her thus far on the season. But I think it's pretty good. I think we're going to have a good season. We got a lot of trips. I wish we were getting Vicky, but we're not. But at least we have Gretchen to stir things up with Tamara, give her a little taste of her own medicine this season. That's going to be good. As always, you guys can find me on all the socials, the Instagram at Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere you get your podcast. And this was fun. And like I said, I will keep everyone posted for a watch party in the future. I feel like I got to wait, though, a little bit. My next one will probably be Orange County. I don't think I could do one before that. I'm not sure when the season's supposed to end. I definitely would love to do one when all the BravoCon stuff airs. That would be really fun because we could pull it up on Peacock, because I have a couple other places that have reached out to me that want me to host it. And it was so much fun. And we did trivia in between on the commercial breaks too. And I gave everyone like an extra raffle ticket to enter into the raffles when they got trivia questions answered. So it's a really fun night to come out with your girlfriends. And anyone that's listening, if you would like me to host one at your place of business or your restaurant, bar, whatever, or it's gonna be like a fun birthday party theme. I could be like rent a clown. Like, instead of getting a clown, you could get me. But I feel like we got a lot in. We talked all about Orange County. I'm all caught up with you guys, the season finale for the Valley. And next, when I'm on here, we will be having the reunion. I'm definitely going to go and watch the reunion with my friends, probably part 3. So we'll do a recap of that. And I've been trying to put up my podcast with Vanderpump Rob. Shout out to Rob. I'm working as hard as I can. I don't understand what's happening with it uploading. It's not uploading. So that'll be a bonus episode that I'm going to have out later in the week. But for now, everyone have an amazing weekend.